Hi, my name is Baron Han. This is my Physics 2212 Lab 1 Uncharged tape. My intro is that we're going to learn about charge, matter, experiments, estimates and assumptions, and finding charge in everyday objects. And the purpose is that I'll prepare charged pieces of Scotch tape and do an experiment to find how much excess charge is in it and compare transfer of electrons as the tape interacts with various objects. Then simulate the interaction between U-tapes and glow script. The assumption is that there's no air resistance. The long tape is a point charge on part 1 of the coating, and the center is where the charge is concentrated, and roughly the same amount of charge on each U-tape, and is roughly the same amount of size. The expectation is that the repel of the same charge, and the tape is positively charged if it tracks with the pen, negatively charged it will repel with the pen, and if it's neutral it will attract. And a brief overview on the lab results is that they both repel each other and positively charge. And the charge of tape is 1.213 e to the negative 8 coulombs. The electrons that are deficient is 7.583 e to the 10 electrons. And the fundamental principles that we'll be using is Coulomb's law, which is the force of the electric field, gravitational force, and Newton's second law. And the experimental model is that the system is tape A and tape B, and the surroundings is everything else. And then there are conditions that they're roughly the same, all equal pieces of tape. There's one piece of tape stuck to the table and two pieces of U-tapes that are being constructed. And you create the U-tapes by putting a piece of tape on the table and then putting another piece of tape on top and making a U handle and then rubbing it to charge it and then rip it off. And the first one you put it on the bottles as seen in the picture in the middle, and then you do it with the second one and put it on the top, and it should levitate. And then you measure the distance between tape A and tape B. And the observations is that the U-tapes would repel, a U-tape in a human finger attracts, U-tip and plastic lid would attract. And the plastic lid is, we rubbed it with the cotton from our shirt, and that gave it a negative charge. And that meant the U-tape is positively charged. And the separation distance we found was 0.026. And then the data and calculations, we found the width and mass and the length of the tape. And then on the right-hand side, we found the magnitude of electric charge based on setting the mg, which is gravitational force, equal to Coulomb's law, and given the radius that we found in the previous step to calculate the Q value in coulombs. And then we divided that by the electric force of an electron to find the electrons deficient, which is the electrons ripped off when the tape is ripped off. And then we found the amount of atoms length and width-wise by dividing the dimensions by the length of an atom. And given that, we found the ratio too. The results is that it's positively charged, and the charge and the electron deficiency, which were on the last slide. And the coding part 1, which was on a point charge, as you can see in the photo, the charge of tape. And then part 2 is the line charge, as you can see in the photo, with the line which it replicates the tape, and then the magnitude of the electric force that we get and magnitude of gravitational force. And we found the magnitude of the point charge is 1.213 e to the negative 8 coulombs, the magnitude of the line charge, which we set the magnitude of the electric force, which is at 3.16 times 10 to the negative 5, equal to kq squared over r squared to find the magnitude of line charge, which is 1.54 e to the negative 9 coulombs. And the assumptions and approximations, we ignored air resistance, and the tape wasn't parallel due to the bottles being different sizes, and there could have been inaccurate measurements of the tape and the distance that we found. And then the discussion questions, what if they were negatively charged? They were basically opposite, and it wouldn't change anything, because whether or not the charges are positive or negative, like charges repel and opposite charges attract. And even if the charges were switched, they would still do the same behavior. And if you compare the value that we get with the experimental data of the point and the line models, they are different because the line charge model replicates the whole piece of tape, while the point charge model replicates the point charge as the addition of all the charges in that center, and this makes it so the line charge model is more realistic because it replicates, we calculated the atoms length and width-wise in order to make it more accurate. Thank you so much.